I'm Daemonxel, and it's time for your Eve Echoes weekly news update. We'll be diving into all the happenings of the week, but first, if you can do me a favor and tag that subscribe button and ring that bell, then you can stay up to date with everything that this channel has to offer. Okay, we had our weekly maintenance, and there are no patch notes this week because everything that happened was on the back end of the servers for future updates. I was very happy with the community's participation this week in the solo kill contest. We've had some great kills and some definite honorable mentions. First up, we have this 1 billion ISK hound kill from Duke 1722 in GRI Corporation. Next, we have this 1 billion ISK retriever kill from Firestorm in Zan. The first runner-up is David 6606 from PHPC for this beautiful 2.3 billion Cinnabal kill. And the winner of this week's giveaway, the Terror of the Deep, the Shark of Syndicate, Badran from GOOP for this 2.4 billion ISK Cinnabal kill. Badran, contact me after this video so I can get that Omega combo out to you. We say goodbye to the test server because the SOV test has ended. Now I hope you all got on to get that bonus skill points, which will be sent out to everyone in the next 2 weeks. The devs put out a new diary concerning their plans for the SOV mechanics. We learned several things from this diary. 1. It will revolve around corp citadels to claim sovereignty and outposts for additional features. 2. These will be upgradable, but they'll be releasing these upgrades in waves after the initial launch. And 3. They will be limited. In fact, these corp stations will be limited to 5 station drops per corporation. That means each corporation can only claim 5 systems. But let's dig into this and see exactly how this all works. On launch, the stations won't have any of those cool add-ons except for one. What they will have is an increased manufacturing material efficiency and a reverse engineering bonus of 5%. Outposts will have modules that give unique bonuses such as collecting PI automatically, spawning condensed belts, and spawning special anomalies. The station upgrades will be separate units floating outside of the station and will be attackable. Now, these new structures that are going to be floating out there, in the first wave of upgrades, we're going to have the Pirate Observation Station. This will slightly raise the probability of special anomalies spawning. You're also going to have the Financial Management Center, which slightly raises the bounty rewards of pirates in that current system, which is great if you're not really in a low security system. Now, when Wave 2 comes, you're going to be able to upgrade your Corporation Citadel. And this upgrade, it says upgrade Corporation Citadel to a higher level to support more and better add-on structures. These structures include the Scout Observation Array, which raises the probability of scout anomalies from spawning. You have the Inquisitor Signature Observation Array, which raises the probability of Inquisitor sites spawning. You have your Dead Space Signature Observation Array. Yes, you guessed it. It raises the probability of a Dead Space anomaly from to spawn. You get your Raw Ore Compressing Factory. This unlocks the ore compression in your corporation stations, which means you get to compress all that ore for easier travel to sell it. So Wave 3 is going to drop, and you're going to be able to upgrade that Corporation Citadel again. This upgrade will allow you to upgrade that Corporation Citadel to a higher level to support more and better add-on structures. So the first module in Wave 3 is going to be the Jump Gate. This is going to allow you to create a Jump Gate within your system. Now, those who are not familiar with Jump Gates, they are in EVE Online. It allows you to quickly traverse from system to system. And from what I remember, a corporation can actually, the corporation that builds it can actually get tax revenue from usage of this gate. You're going to get the Capsular Outpost Anchor Point. What this is going to allow you to do is actually be able to anchor more more outposts within that system. You'll be able to add on the Criminal Surveillance Network, This will shorten the activation time of the dead space scanner in the capsular outpost and provide a small probability of spawning a higher level pirate anomalies. And you're going to get the mine expedition facility, which basically does the same thing, but on the industry side with compressed ore belts. Now, those structures are for your corporation citadels. There's going to be a few that come out for the outpost as well in Wave 3. That's going to be your Planet Development Center, which increases the duration and number of planet arrays of the resource extraction to deliver them near the capsule outpost. In other words, this is that automatic PI gathering that they're talking about. If you have PI in that system, you can launch it. It'll actually come right to your outpost instead of you having to go to the planet to pick it up. You're going to get that compressed mine scanner. It says here, can be activated to scan compressed mine in a far system. Now, from what I was told by the devs a while back, these will actually work in the constellation, not just the system. So when you use this compressed mine scanner, and it's only going to be able to be used once per week, it'll actually spawn a condensed ore belt somewhere in that constellation. And the third one is the dead space scanner, which again is going to do the same thing that it does with compressed ore. It's going to be able to spawn a dead space. The only difference here is the reverse engineering materials for upgrading dead space modules can be found in these spaces. These dead spaces that are going to be spawned this way is going to be used for that new dead space crafting system that they have in the works. And if you don't know what that is, basically you have your C types now. You're going to be able to break these down, get data cores for it, and actually make B types and then A types. It seems as if the entire SOV system is being rushed out, to be honest. But with everything, we will see how it plays out. Now, I'm going to put a link to this in the description so that you can go back through and read it all yourself. The market has held steady for the last week. Plex is still being traded at around 930,000 per unit, while C-types remain constant, as well as Tech 3 rig markets being steady. To say the Golden Horde had a hard week would be an understatement. Last week they dissolved the SPC as that ripple effect of those actions shook throughout the Horde, this week resulting in several corps leaving, a fractured core remaining, and leaving this mega alliance poised precariously on the precipice of civil war. We had a manifesto of sorts leak out from OBI, one of the corps leaving, that gave us a glimpse behind the curtain of this superpower. I'm not going to go through all 9 pages because I'm trying to keep this video a little short this week due to the holiday. Regardless, this reads into the bureaucracy of the Horde and tells the story of how everything twisted and turned into this current status. You'll understand what I mean by bureaucracy once you read the whole thing. A lot of us out here are playing internet spaceships, blowing up internet spaceships. Some of them in the Horde are playing internet space lawyers. After reading this, I talked to several members in and outside of this, and all have not contested anything within this document. It was a failed coup on the current government, and as a result, the coalition that tried to seize power has been exercised with negotiations staving off civil war for the current moment. I'm told that there's an interim government in place with the old one still in the wings. Now, I went ahead and contacted leadership for an official statement. Genghis Khan once said, "Conquering the world on horseback is easy. It is dismounting and governing that is hard." Over the past 6 months, the Golden Horde has had a tremendously successful journey in New Eden, growing from a few hundred players to thousands, settling multiple regions, and conquering our portion of the galaxy. We did this by putting the players first and focusing on our community, which we believe is at the key to long-term success. However, with extreme growth comes new challenges. One of those challenges is aligning an alliance to support thousands of different players and dozens of different corps, and the myriad interests and goals that encompass such a large community. For the past year, our Republic and the charter that binds us together has allowed us to turn our differences into strengths. Over the past few weeks, it became clear that the differences between several of our corporations and their visions on how the Horde should operate had grown too large, and we found that our current structure and the supporting charter was unable to scale to address these issues. As a result, several of our family members have opted to leave the Horde in order to better align with their specific interests. Despite the recent challenges and differences of their opinion, we recognize and thank these organizations who have helped build the Horde into the superpower we are today. While specific differences have forced us to say goodbye to some great corps, it is the bonds between our pilots and the values we share that still bind us together. We look forward to supporting and championing the recently departed as close friends and allies. In regards to the Horde, our alliance is unique in being a republic and we will continue to operate as such. However, the recent events have been a valuable lesson in scaling and the challenges of running a republic in the scale of a mega alliance in EVEGOS. We are excited to take these lessons to heart, apply them toward a new charter and more effective structure, and getting back to building the best community and team culture available to pilots in New Eden. We will of course keep an eye on this story as it progresses. OBI, Orc, and Orb, as several other corps that have left the Horde, have joined Genesis Federation, rounding out their 16th alliance. I contacted Momosaurus Rex for Gen Fed's take on the entire situation of their ally. I don't think there is a civil war. I think they've settled down. We took in OBI, ORC, ORB, and their associated corporations. Statement from GHA leadership is that they hope they land in a good home. The corporations certainly feel that they have. They are a nice group of guys and very active and motivated. They make up the current entirety of KGen, their 16th alliance. The MC have moved out of Fountain and have struck a deal with Genesis Federation, granting them room within period bases to grow and do their own thing. This region has been given to them with no strings attached, and yes, Terran Federation is saddened by their departure, but happy they have found a region of their own to thrive. The Southern Vale Coalition took down another Triple V station this week. The Coalition camped the gate to the target system to kill off any fleet warping in to support its defense. The defending fleet totaled in 130 pilots, and these numbers dwindled from as the timer began. The engagement took the better half of an hour as the Vale Coalition grinded the enemy fleet down to 40, while splitting DPS to the station. As the numbers spiraled down, they were able to properly DPS the station on each pass until it exploded. The Southern Vale Coalition inflicted 11.3 billion in ISK in total damages to Triple V, while only suffering 1.2 billion in losses. This Southern Vale Coalition consists of 3 alliances: VIO, PRIN, and Lunar. Here at the front, we'll be keeping an eye on their battles in the Vale. Okay, you might have seen a few posts since yesterday about Terran Federation and dissension and infighting. You might be asking, Damon, you're in there. Give us the tea. I would if I could. However, I have no position to hire in TF other than a line member. I have no access to leadership chats, and there's basically been a cone of silence. I honestly don't know what's going on, and because of this, my future is uncertain, and I myself am in the dark. I do appreciate everyone's concern and the offers to join their corporations that I've been receiving in my DMs. I won't be deciding anything until after I know what's going on. The QC in Pantheon also hit a Terran Federation station early Wednesday during this confusion, destroying the newly planted outpost. I can only hope that this quells the issues internally and focuses TF again onto the current threat. So, obviously, I put that out before the events of today. This is a re-edit of sorts. And I'm sorry if the audio is not up to par. I'm not in the usual quiet room, and there is a big storm going on currently. So, I work overnights. And let's look at exactly what happened. I'm East Coast in the US, and I work overnights. So I get home about 6:30 in the morning usually, and sometimes I go right to bed and get a couple hours sleep. Obviously, with the holidays, things are a little more busy. So I stayed up to finish recording and edit the video and do some running around. I finally got to lie down to bed at around 11 p.m. Eastern. And the last time I checked in before I went to sleep, I was told everything is fine. Looks like we're putting the problems aside and we're going to work forward and refocus and be who we are supposed to be. I then go to sleep.
2 hours later.
And then I wake up to this bullshit. All of a sudden, ding dong, the Alliance is dead. The dissolution and disbursement of Terran Federation. I don't hold a leadership position. I worked with the head diplomat of Terran Federation in the back end over the last, I would say, 18 and a half hours once I learned what was going on, to try and keep everything together with duct tape and a prayer and my sparkling personality. And apparently that was not enough, because people cannot keep their big egos in check, put aside differences, and strive for the common good. There are two sides to every story. I heard both sides. My feeling is, it's all bullshit. They should have just put their shit together and worked forward. Both sides vilifying the other. And last I checked in, Atlas Empire, the corp I'm a part of, is breaking off from TF, going their own way. Evo 1 is breaking off, going their own way. I'm not really sure who's staying in TF. I don't know if Dead's staying. I don't know if they're trying to get everything to work, gel. But it's weakened. They're still at war with two sides, which are going to be barreling down on them. As for my future, I honestly don't have a fucking clue. Everything I do right now is reactionary. I haven't planned anything currently right now. I'm just in a state of shock, saddened by the loss of this, pissed off beyond all belief at everyone included. I don't know. We built this from the ground up since Beta 1. Always lived in Fountain. One of the respected, strong powerhouses of the game. Some of the originals have already fallen. Some still remain. I honestly thought we were going to be one of those that remained and forged forward with others such as Genesis, Golden Hoard, QC. I thought these were entities built that would take a knock and not fail. I believe that's what I'm most angered about. I could take losing a war, being forced from a region, because that's what the game's about. You pick up, you rebuild, you go again. But to get destroyed from within because people couldn't put on their big boy pants and everyone decided to pick up their ball and go home. But that's basically what I have to say on the subject currently right now, and now you are up to par with everything that's going on. Fountain is basically a shit show and a shooting gallery. And again, no idea where I'm going or what to do. So hit me up if you want. I have absolutely no idea what the fuck's going on. But either way, I will still remain here every week, bringing you the news I can, the best way I can. If I see you in game, I'll salute you, even with good fights all around. I always try to be on the up and up, and always admit when I'm wrong. So, let's return to the other stories that have already begun to air. I also want to salute a few Reds I fought this week. It was a good fight, and I love the fact that right afterwards, we just talked about the upcoming show. So, special salute to Janksterman and Sethoodles. We have also had some really big kills this week, and I'd like to give them the recognition they deserve. Behind the scenes, trust that I am still being the gnat in the ear of the developers, whispering, API when? And Killboard soon, please. And that's our show. And even though the ANN is dead, please still go check out these other news outlets for your fill of Echoes news. Frankie over at Eve Echoes Radio and Sean over at the Echoes of New Eden podcast, as well as the written word on the New Eden News. I would also like to announce that I have a new tagline thanks to JP Garcia. You earned yourself a free Omega combo. Get in touch with me on Discord to make the arrangements to receive your prize. Okay everyone, have a great holiday, have a great weekend, and fly safe. Remember, we are all one vision, one purpose, one front.